Do you want to introduce it?
I wasn't nervous, but now I am, thanks.
Look down the barrel of the camera.
You've actually put me on the spot.
I know. I'll do it, it's fine. We are here today with Greg at Field Leathers in Fife.
Scotland.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Who makes leather jackets.
Yep.
Been in this space for 3 years now.
Almost, yeah.
2 years working, nearly 3 years in total, but including the rip out.
And it's a good conversation, so keep listening.
Getting your own space is
100%.
quite a big thing.
No, it's
It's a huge
a
step.
huge thing. But a scary thing too, because I thought 4 or 5 grand maximum, that's 10 grand. And obviously when you start some, you kind of just like halfway through, like, fuck it, I've made more money. It's like,
I'm here, I'm in this.
So just keep going. But no, once it was done, I felt, I don't know, just, this is my space.
Yes.
Because I said before I was in my brother's unit, he's a landscaper.
Right.
So I had the back end of this concrete blocked unit, and his sand was everywhere, his machinery, it was stinking of oil. So I say I had a space maybe for that window to where the measuring tapes are.
Yeah.
And that was in 4 foot back. That was all I had.
So the size of a sheet of plasterboard, it's not
That's
a big
exactly
space.
that's exactly what it was. To move into then, hey, this. But saying that, I feel like with Tony here, Sam here, space is getting smaller, eh?
Yes, that's true.
And even though we're not ready to move on now, I would like to think in the next couple of years we are somewhere bigger and we do have somebody else machining. That's
There's
the
a lot of
plan.
growth.
I'm hoping so, I'm hoping so.
Did you think because 2 years isn't it a long time to be, I know you've been at it more than 2 years, but 2 years in this space, isn't it a lot of time to be then bringing someone else on?
It isn't it?
And now you're talking about someone else.
Well, Tony's only part-time.
Right.
Sam was full-time with me. Sam was with me for a full year. So she dealt with everything I hate, customers, emails, paying invoices. But 18, 20 months ago, we had a terrible issue with leather supply.
Yeah.
We kept getting told, next month, Greg, next month. And before we knew it, it was 8 months in the line. And I didn't act quick enough to get another supplier.
Right.
And obviously I had Sam's wages, outgoings, overheads, and we weren't getting that much money in, and I had to let Sam go. She still comes in every Saturday and she does emails throughout the week for me. But I would love to get Sam back full time.
Right.
I've known Sam for 16 years now. We went to college together, uni together, Aero Leathers together.
Aye.
And yeah, she's intelligent. I'm not intelligent at all. I can make a jacket. I'm practical, but I'm shit with written work and whatever else. I'm dyslexic.
Right.
So she's like she's a godsend, and we trust each other 100%. It's that she's married to my cousin, so it's just family. She's a field too.
Yeah.
And it's just that proper trust each other.
Good.
I'm wanting her back. I still see it that she'll own part of this.
Right.
In 10 years or whatever, she will be partnership, eh?
Right.
Because she's been there for day one too. Even though she wasn't working with me, I still went to her for advice on patterns.
Right.
Because she was Aero's pattern person.
Right, okay.
So her knowledge on patterns is a lot better than mine. I can get it, but it will take me 3 hours.
Yes.
By pissing about and doing 3 or 4 samples, where Sam will just get it.
Yeah, right.
She can look at a garment and know how that's made, where I've always struggled with that.
Oh, really? She's got that ability to just pick it apart in her head.
Aye, and I've no.
That's a skill, though.
Right,
that is a skill.
It is, aye.
I mean, it's all skills. Like, let's not take away from the fact everything that you're doing here is a skill.
Yeah.
But the ability to look at something and just pick it apart, you've got it, or you've no got it.
And I've no got it at all. I've never had it. And I don't know why, because I've been in, let's say, uni, college, been doing this for 13 years, and it's just something I'm never going to get.
Right.
It's just one of the things.
It's a good thing you've got someone to help you do that.
100%.
You know?
That's why we need Sam, eh?
Right.
I didn't want Sam here. I do, it's not what I mean, but she's a huge asset to the company. And in the head and in my gut, it's down the line, we're back full time, we're fucking thriving. It's just, my gut tells me that we are going to be successful.
Right.
I mean, I feel like we are successful, but financially and new businesses, it's such an expensive market. I mean, the last batch was what, 7-8 grand a leather, you know, and yeah, it's just
big chunks of money.
It's just a hard market.
And it's only more expensive if you order less of it as well. This is what I think a lot of people don't understand when they're looking at smaller businesses, is every time they make a smaller order, or especially if it's a commission specific order and they need to order something specifically in smaller quantities, it's more expensive, and that's taking huge cuts out of your margin. The only way any of this works is to do it on some sort of volume.
Yep.
I mean, there is obviously people that are doing a great job of doing one-off ones, but the majority of any business really starts to thrive, financially I'm talking, when you're doing some sort of efficiency.
We ain't got no efficiency
Aye.
at all.
But that's a stage thing, isn't it? When you get to a stage.
We were stupid. When I first started the business, I thought, right, I need to offer this because that company's offering it, and I need to offer this and this and this and this.
Yeah, that's the wrong
And
thing to
that
do.
was
isn't it?
100% the wrong thing to do. We were probably one of 2 or 3 companies out there who was offering full bespoke, so you can create your own jacket, fronts, backs, sleeves. The biggest mistake I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Biggest mistake.
So many people would want to start a jacket company, as I'm sure you did, and that would be the attractive bit. I'm going to order everything custom. Why was that such a big mistake?
Well, when a customer's asking for X, Y, and Z, we've never done that before. We need to take 2 or 3 days on how to exactly get that bang on, because I'm not handing out shite. I'm not handing out something that isn't perfect. But it might take us 2 or 3 days to do 5 or 6 samples to get it to how they want it. Right there, we've lost all the profit.
Aye. And you can only get that profit back if someone else orders exactly the same.
Yeah. And we have been lucky, and we have had people order jackets that we have done. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not worth it. It's knocked us back on time, lead time, majorly, which stops people from ordering for us. We hear it all the time, I'm not ordering for you because we've got a 10 to 12 month lead time. So we're losing customers, we're losing money. It isn't worth the headache. There's times where I'm fucking screaming and shouting, not screaming and shouting, but fucking hate this customers. But that being said, I've took it on. I've took the responsibility, so it's my own fault. And even though we have had customers that have been so stressful, because we need money, I'll take on another one. I'll take on another one. And we just need to get rid of these full custom designs. I reckon it's going to be another 10 months at least. And have a range that we want to offer.
Aye.
Take it or leave it. Made to measure, take it or leave it.
Aye.
And that's my gut tells me, that's when we'll be in a lot better position. Financially, stress, that's when we will be in, that's when we'll start gradually climbing and getting more successful.
Anything personalised is quite stressful, because if anything goes wrong, like, what do you do? Like, whose fault is it? I don't know.
And I always take the blame.
Your name on the door.
Aye. Sam's a lot more like stern, like, not, they says this, that's what we've given them, where I'm more, we need to keep customers happy. But I have started getting more firm the past 6 months, a wee bit, not much, but just because of how much work I'm putting in, how much I'm paying myself now, I didn't pay myself a lot. To be honest, I pay myself peanuts. For the hours that I do.
Aye. It works out to like 50 pence an hour or something like that.
No, you're right. Aye.
You live it.
So I am starting to think a lot more like, well, I'm fucking doing all this effort. So I'm starting to, it's more for my sanity and what's beneficial for the business. As long as I'm not completely fucking over a customer, and we've done what they've asked for, but then if they're not happy, then it's starting to be like, well, that's what we agreed on. We need to look out for us
Absolutely, and there's a world there, and there's something really important there for a lot of people, because we do all try and customer please. I mean, there's a big fallacy, I think, the customer is always right. Like, the customer's not always right.
No.
If communication's there and you've done wrong, it's 100% on you. If the customer's not communicated it properly, there's another conversation to be had.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily mean that no, the customer has to pay everything and do everything, and that's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is that that's another conversation that has to be had. Like, if this jacket's not what you expect it to be, but it's exactly what you asked for, that's a different conversation from we never delivered what you asked for. But as something with your name on the door, that's a really difficult thing to do. We are so rigorous when producing the magazine of getting the stories, then them copyrighted, as in, copyright, not copyrighted, but copyrighted as in rewritten and edited properly, and then getting the maker to sign off, because we are representing the name. If that then goes out into the world and it's not right, or a customer, as is someone that buys it, is not what they expected, that's different from it not being what it was meant to be. If it's not what someone expected, that's the kind of grey area. That's a hard area to negotiate, really hard area to negotiate. But what you're saying there is, I think, exactly right, and really crucial for a lot of other makers to hear. If you're not stern in that position, you'll not be here in 10 years.
That's what's been, lately, that's what's been in my head. I'm not going to be here in a year if I keep bending over backwards and just taking all the hits. That's what's made me sit up and think, you need to get a fucking backbone, Greg. You're nail on the head.
I'm more like you, that I have that feeling of like, oh no, I have to correct this myself. This is obviously my fault because I'm the one that's doing it. Whereas you're like, no.
That's to be very clear, we're talking about £14, £16, £18 magazines, not hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of leather.
But even when I was doing my leather or my furniture, I'd still, if I got something wrong, I'd be like, right, well, it's my fault. Even though it wasn't really my fault, but I'd take it on as my fault.
So you're like me, and then you're like Sam.
I've done enough major engineering projects where people have asked for one thing, and then after delivery said they wanted something else. That I've had not just my fingertips burnt, I've had my whole arm set ablaze before.
Right.
So, and I've learned from it, like, you will not be there if you don't do that, and that is the unfortunate reality of it, that you can't please everybody. Of course, and I'm sure you're doing it as any maker is, you try your absolute best to please someone. But if you trying to please that one person means you're not here in a year's time, you have done a disservice to everybody else that wants a jacket off you.
I've not looked at it that way, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You're doing a massive disservice to it, which is brutally difficult to get your head around. Because it's a huge, huge step. But the world is massively, like the cliche is the customer is always right. And I don't think they're always wrong, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. But your business needs to come first. And ultimately you need to come first, right?
Yeah, and I've slowly started to realise that just over the past few months. So yeah, we'll see where it goes for the next few months. But I am starting to put my foot down a lot more. My issue is I'm a people pleaser, I've always been a people pleaser. And again, over the past few months, I've realised almost try and take on things that to improve myself.
Take a challenge,
and if that means that we've got unhappy customers, as long as my sanity is still there and I'm improving and trying to develop into the person I want to be, then I'm happy to lose 2 or 3 customers. Because ultimately, this business and myself is the most important thing. And I've only been saying that out loud the past few months. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but starting to get a lot more firmer.
Has that been a big head shift for you, like telling yourself that you need to be firmer for the business?
It's always been a wee voice in the back of my head, but it's only got serious the past few months. And don't get me wrong, I slip all the time. It's one of the things, but I am going to try and make a conscious effort to start putting me first. Because I mean, there's sometimes where it's weird. It's every 2 to 4 months I have this absolute meltdown, and it's just my anxiety's through the roof. And I've never suffered from depression. I don't know what depression is, but I need a couple of days in my bed, and I just need to shut off. The missus just needs to leave me alone. Everybody, Sam, everybody, customers, like for a couple of days. But after that 2-3 days, I'm fucking back into it. It's weird. But it's when I didn't want to experience this the rest of my life. I want to get rid of it. And I think to get rid of that, I need to start being more firm. And obviously as the company develops and we aren't dealing with these bullshit fucking full custom designs, I think things are going to get easier. They are. They are. I hope.
No, they will. They absolutely will. And you know, straight off the bat, minutes into the podcast, and I think just what we've talked about there will be hundreds of other makers that are feeling the same. Hundreds of them.
That's what I keep telling myself too. I'm not just the only person going through this. Can you go through your phone and you see the inspirational quotes and all that pish, but it's entrepreneurs who are speaking for experience. I'm thinking, well, they've experienced it. Can this person saying they've experienced it? So it must be the norm. I'm no 6 months away from closing doors. I'm just stressed. And I've experienced it
it's
1,000 times.
Admit that as well. Like, it's totally fine. You know, it's not all like business isn't all like you see on Instagram.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Rain is not.
Even, I mean, so many, we talked about when we came in here, so many people are like, oh, it's amazing, you know, because we done 6 weeks, 2 6-week tours of the US last year, and they're like, oh, it's amazing, it must be going well. I was like, it was financially terrifying. You're in another country, no idea what bills are coming up next, trying to produce a print run, moving to a quarterly magazine, literally travelling almost the width of the country. Like, it was financially terrifying, but it was wicked. It was amazing.
When I seen you obviously going from place to place to place,
it's all that stuff's worrying. Like all the you talk about there, like scrolling through Instagram, and we fall foul of it as well a million other makers of like, oh, this like it's just a highlight reel. It is just a highlight reel. Nobody really posts when it's shit.
Because you don't want to be negative, you want to be seen as this positive, like, person.
And things, going back to authenticity, when there was times that I was probably struggling, I was like, do I do a video on this to show people that I am struggling? But my fear was, we've got 80 deposits in. Guys coming, these guys are going out of business. I want my deposit back. So that's what was putting me off that, because I created a video and I deleted it. I didn't have the buzz to show that I was physically exhausted, I was mentally exhausted, and watching back on it, it would look like this guy's close to closing doors, and I couldn't have 10 guys asking for their deposit back. So I was like, I'm not going to show it.
It is a hard line, isn't it?
It is.
It is a hard line. It is, because you're absolutely right. You want everyone that sees you to have full confidence in what you're doing, like just maximal confidence, because your products are there. They're good. They do exactly what they're meant to do. You know, you're highly regarded in that sense. But it's still difficult. Doesn't mean it's no difficult.
No.
None of that means that it's easier. Just because the output is fantastic, none of that means that it's no difficult.
No.
So you've got your own place. You got your name above the door. You've literally got your name above a door. How did we get here? How did we get to a point where, because I'm aware we've talked about some really important stuff, which are the negatives of, not the negatives, let's say the realities of running your own business. But you still get to do what you do every single day.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So where are we and what do we do?
Like literally, where are we? So we're in Fife. Fife in Scotland. And we make, which I regard some of the best leather jackets in the world. Don't get me wrong, it's been a long journey. I've been making, which a lot of people didn't realise. They think, oh, because you're a new business, you've just started. But I've been making leather jackets for 13 years. I learned from another company down south. And as soon as I started there, I knew that's what I was going to do the rest of my life.
Really?
100%.
Whether it was with them or under yourself, or did you know that it was going to be your own brand at that time?
I didn't know. I didn't have any thought about having my own brand. Really? Coming straight out of uni, I wanted to be a bespoke tailor in Savile Row.
Oh, okay.
And I was offered a job making leather jackets, and I thought, I'm not really interested. But I'll do it, I'll get a bit of experience, try and get a wee bit of money behind me. But as soon as I walked in, I just fell in love, and I just knew that's what I was going to do. It's the first thing I've ever done and found easy.
Really?
At school, I was shite at everything.
Right.
So you're always struggling. But at school, you're made to do these subjects. I'm not interested in these. Yeah. I just knew I had to find something that I was interested in, and then I'd be good at it. So yeah, just as soon as I done it, fell in love, knew this was for me. The dream was always America. Don't know why I have had an obsession with America since I was 10, really? Tiny wee lad. So I thought maybe if I keep it this, maybe I could work for a maker in America. And when my old boss actually put me in contact with a company in America, and we were planning on getting me over there. But unfortunately, he lost his mum. Communication broke down. So that was gutting. But at that point, I had money saved up, and I thought, what am I going to do? I'm not going to stay with this company much longer. Hopefully not anyway. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to try and start my own business. And it took 2.5 years working on my own business while still working full time.
Yep. Right.
Luckily, at that point, Sam and myself would drive down to work, would stay in a B&B, would do 3 12-hour shifts and drive back Thursday, Wednesday night. So that gave me Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So you were still staying up here in Fife?
I was down there,
right,
but we moved back,
right,
and then we done the travelling.
Right.
And it was hard, it was long hours, spending money on a B&B was shit, but it gave me the opportunity to work on my own business while still getting an income. And to be honest with you, if I didn't have that system, probably wouldn't have my own business. I moved back in with mum and dad today. That's another big thing. 29-year-old moving back in with your mum and dad isn't ideal, but no rent, you know.
They're
my dinner's on the table.
Good sacrifices to make, right?
Allows you to get a little bit forward.
It did. Again, if I didn't move back in with mum and dad, probably wouldn't have my own business.
Yep.
All these wee things, all these little helps from numerous people gave me the ability to work on my own business and finally start my own business. So yeah, from there, I started sewing in my mum and dad's kitchen. That's where I was doing all the sampling. My wee bedroom, I had my table where I was doing my patterns. Slowly but surely, spending more and more money on the business. And I think it was by the time I was about 9 grand in, I thought, there's no going back. And at this point, I didn't have much to show. Right. I had my patterns done, I had my sampling out of wax cotton, which was cheap.
That seems to be quite common, using wax cotton for leather, like Bjorma that we were with the other day. A lot of people seem to do that. It's a good, tangible...
Aye, definitely. So yeah, I was at that point, just kept developing, and I finally got a wee space in my brother's unit, which was just a wee shit cold unit. But again, I was happy as fuck, happy as Larry. At that point, I'd left the company. To be safe, I got a delivery job with Argos.
Okay. All right.
Just to be safe, but I was only there for 2 months.
Really?
Because we done there's a guy, Carol, in America, he's a YouTuber. We worked together. Actually, the sheepskin there was a collaboration. Okay. But he done a review, and as soon as he done that review, orders just went.
Really?
Yep. It was crazy. Couldn't believe it. That's when I felt secure.
So he's got a big channel that people are looking to specifically for.
Well-made garments and shoes and boots and a big following. And from then, just the money came in, and then that's when I seen this heap of shit when I first moved in.
Yeah.
And yeah, we moved here, obviously it took 10 months. But yeah, the first 2 years was just, I thought, I've made it.
Yeah.
And then shit hit the fan. We made it, it was too good, too quick. And then with
we talk about this often.
COVID, knock-on effect on materials, it was just...
You don't plan for these things, how could you?
No, not at all. Right, nah. And that was a real eye opener. It made me realise how quick you can go to business. Yeah, I was shitting myself quite a lot.
Yeah. Better to do that sooner than later, do you think?
I wish it was worse straight off the bat. Like I say, the first 2 years, I thought, I'm going to have my dream car, my Beamer. Yeah. I thought I'm going to be paying myself this amount. Yeah. And it just didn't happen that way. Yeah, it was a hard couple of years when we had the issues with the supplier. And I wish it was reversed. I wish that was the first two couple of years was so difficult, then slowly progressing. Now I feel like I'm at a stage where we're nice, we're comfortable, still stressed, but we're just slowly going to build up. Yeah, rather than just being so good, so quick the first 2 years. I honestly couldn't believe how just the money was just coming in left, right and centre. Yeah. It was just crazy. Yeah, that material situation just fucked us. Right. It did. And as I say, it was such a stressful 18, 20 month, whatever it was, but it's made me realise the ups and downs, and you get over it, and there's going to be more ups and downs. It's going to be next month. It could be so difficult and so stressful, but we get at it. I mean, like, it's constantly like that. It's been like that for the past 2 years. Yep. And
there's never a middle ground, eh? Sometimes you just want a middle ground.
That's all I've been saying. I keep saying to Sam, I just can't wait until we get some sort of consistency and regular cash coming in, because sometimes we'll take 10 grand in, and then there'll be nothing for 2-3 weeks, and then it'll be a grand here and a grand there.
And then it's all gone, and then you're like, I'll start again.
That's exactly how it is. Where I'm just desperate for consistency, and we're not going to have consistency until we get rid of all these custom designs. I know it, and I've accepted it. Right. So we just need to keep busting our ass and get these full custom jackets out the way, and get the rest of your jackets on the website, revamp the website, and carry on getting more styles.
Yeah, okay.
And like I say, these styles will be made to measure or off the rack. That'll be
a good way to go, to be fair.
Yeah,
and
just sounds a bit more efficient, doesn't it? It's a bit leaner and more efficient.
It builds in that consistency, doesn't it?
It does. And I know the consistency is going to be there when we get to that stage. We just need to keep digging and keep going until we get to that stage. And it is going to be another 10-12 months. I know that, and I know we're going to have a difficult 10-12 months. But I'm ready for it. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
It's good that you can see that far ahead and be ready for it. Yeah. And those, I think anyone listening will say the same, those peaks and troughs are just the reality of it. Like, there's so many times where the highest days we've had, with regards to just talking pure numbers and sales, I would rather never ever have those days, but just for the medium to be a little bit higher, just the average to be a little bit higher. Yeah. We had a similar thing when we launched Edition 1, pre-Facebook advertising, before they changed the, I suppose you call it, the algorithm and the tracking. We were maxing out how much Facebook would allow us to spend per day and returning 4x whatever we spent. Right. It was big numbers. Right. And we done that consistently for about a month, 2 months. Convinced, like, we've done this. Convinced, we've found our people. We're there. Yeah. And obviously one thing changes, like you with leather work, the actual leather supply changing, they changed the way Facebook ads are tracked, so much so that we then spent the next 4 years not spending a penny on it. Okay. And now we're getting back into it, trying to resource it out.
But then the paper cost goes up, and then that cost goes up. So it's never like, you never can forecast it properly. Yeah. It's just the way it is.
Some weeks you want a week where there's just one problem that week. Do you know what I mean? Like, that'd be a good week.
Just solve one problem.
Yeah, I just want one problem this week. That's all I'm after. So with the custom designs though, has that afforded you the ability to see what's common, i.e. what jackets you then bring to your standard range? Because it seems like quite a good way to work that out.
I guess so, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, like, because we replicate originals to the 1920s, 30s and 40s, we sort of, from looking at other makers, we know what the popular styles are.
Yeah, okay.
We're all doing sort of the same thing because we're all replicating. There's a couple companies out there who are doing, you can tell it's their style.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're all replicating the originals, and we all know what the popular originals are. Again, I knew it was Chicago. I knew that back in the original, it's originally Highwayman. I knew that was a very popular style, but for whatever reason, I didn't choose to date at the beginning.
Right.
We only released it 9 months ago. And as soon as we released it, it was boom, 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 order,
Really?
order.
Really?
Like, why the fuck did I not do this 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Again, it's weird too. There's so much things in my head that I need to do this and do that I could literally say to Sam, right, we'll do X, Y, and Z. And then I'll be 2 months down the line, and I've literally forgotten until that point, 2 months down the line. It's just, there's so much going in my head, on my head constantly. It seems like
Too many tabs open.
aye, things just get lost.
You said that a couple of weeks back. I've got too many browser tabs open in my head, and I was like,
I don't know how to get rid of
That's
them.
it.
I don't know
Like
like
browser
structurally
tabs.
how to like get rid of them because I don't know which one's more important than the other.
Yep.
and no two people work the same.
No.
So there isn't a hard and fast rule, no matter what the current trending talking head on Instagram
You
tells
love that talking head.
They're just,
Same.
they are everywhere at the moment, and some of them are amazing, and some of them are a blight to society. Like, some of them are phenomenal, and some of them I'm just like, the only way you've made money is by selling a course to tell people how to make money. Like, yeah. Anyway, because I'm just like, oh well, if you've got jobs, just write them down the list. Because there is, like, to me, there is no job other than the next job on the list. I'm really good at not looking at any of them.
See, I'm not.
But I'm aware now that, because I've been working with Kate, we've been working so closely for the past 18 months solely on this, I am very aware that that is not the case for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Kate's the creative one of the two of us. You're obviously the creative mindset, and I'm very aware that that's not normal for creative people.
Right, okay.
The more people I'm speaking to, I'm getting that vibe.
Right.
The more creative you are, the less chance you can just look at a list of things. Because it does start to feel quite authoritarian. Like, when I'm writing my list, like, I like working like that because
Right.
I like to go ex-engineer, I like to go through problems and that. But that isn't for everybody.
It's not for me.
Because it's not for me, didn't tell me what to do. How do you work through it though? Because you're getting through a lot. You've got a lot of styles on the.
I feel like
let's take stock for a minute. We're talking less than 3 years in. You've got multiple styles hanging on the wall in both sheepskin. There's everything, including a full shop fit out, including taking someone on. Like, take stock. That is a lot to do as a one-man band.
People keep telling me that. Sam keeps saying how far I've came, and a lot of the time, not so much Sam, but I feel like when customers are reaching out and say, got your jacket, it's just as good as X, Y, and Z, and that's who I consider the best in the business.
Yeah.
I feel like you're blowing smoke up my arse, eh? Yeah. I feel like I've still got work to do. I've always been the same. I'm never happy. I hate it, eh? I'm never happy.
It's a curse, man.
It is.
I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. Annoying.
You know yourself though, we're all the same.
I know.
If you're trying to do something massive, which this is, whether it's a small business or not, it's massive. To try and compete with some of the big leather, you would not be looked upon ill if you just says, nah, they're doing it, they're massive, there's no point in me doing it. That is the sensible thing to do by any, let's call them boomer generation, the people that are like, why are you doing that? Like, just go and work for one of the big brands. It's a serious undertaking to compete with them.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It is. Again, it's only lately I've been saying, speaking out loud, that, you know, I am good at what I do.
Aye.
I do what I sound arrogant. And that's why I've always kept it to myself. But it's only been the past few months that I have started saying, can what, I can make a good jacket.
Aye.
And it's only lately I look at these bigger companies and think, I can be as big as you. As long as I just keep my head down, I can. And I can have a factory full of machinists. It's weird, I don't know, it's just build the confidence that's came in the past few months. And even though I've always felt it in my gut, I've never spoken it out loud. Because I didn't want to sound like, there's makers out there who are arrogant and they claim to be the best, and you'll not get anywhere better anywhere else. And before I started the business, I promised myself I would never be like that. And I think I've taken it maybe too far where I can't, I've made myself not even be able to say that I'm good at what I do. But now I'm saying it out loud. And I do have the confidence that I can be as big as some of these guys that I look up to and think I'm amazing.
Yeah.
I can. One day I will be beside you. I will be considered as good as you.
I like it.
It's interesting the arrogance side, because you do see it a lot, and I think arrogance, certainly for me, can often get misconstrued as they're just very sure of themselves, and really they're just very sure of themselves because they have done it. I think certainly us in the UK look at a lot of that as arrogance, and actually see when you're with a lot of these people, like we've been with a lot of people, certainly some that I know in the industry are considered arrogant, and when we've been with them, they're mint.
Right, okay.
They are the best folk ever, and they are actually really good at what they do. Like, so but then labelling it as arrogance almost it doesn't take away from how good they are, but it takes away from your own belief that you can be that good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, aye.
Like, because you telling me you're amazing at what you do, I can see there is proof on the wall you are really good at what you do. So I'm not seeing arrogance there. I'm seeing proof.
Yeah.
And actually there's a lot of people that are putting the proof out there. Now there's a lot of people, the talking heads, that are not putting proof out there, but there is a lot of people that are putting everything on the line. You've done it. You've put everything on the line and opened a shop. Like, you have every right to be arrogant about being good at that. Arrogance doesn't, and I know it definitely is a negative thing, but I don't think it has to be a negative thing. Like, if you're really good at what you do, wear it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's...
There's ways to wear it, I suppose.
There is definitely ways to wear it, and yeah, let's not take away from the fact that there's ways to communicate that without coming across an arsehole. Like, there's definitely ways to communicate that. But you should absolutely wear it.
Yeah.
Certainly the Americans that we've been with, they are so confident in how good they are at what they do.
Right, okay.
That is why they're good at what they do, because they're so confident in it. And confidence sells. 100%. You don't see a car advert and they're like, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? Aye, Audi, it's all right. They're like, Audi, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Aye. You're right.
It's hard to do though.
I was just about to say it's hard. It's hard to do. Because it's each to their own. Somebody might like me, somebody might like X, Y, and Z, where I think Z is mediocre. So it's a personal preference on each product. But yeah, as a maker, I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there where I am feeling good. Yeah. I'm trying to. So I said I could say it in front of Sam that, well, Sam's always told me how good I am. Same with Tony. Tony's always says, when we all work together, Tony says numerous of times how good and how passionate I was about. I mean, I got called a brown nose in the ring at the last factory where I was taught. I wasn't a brown nose, and I was just determined to figure out every aspect of the business so that I could be the best machinist I could be. But obviously, I must have looked like a brown nose.
But does that matter? Does the people that say you're a brown nose, do their opinions matter?
No, because I'm where I am, where I want to be. And they're still where they are. Right. So yeah, I did hear no regrets. Yeah, no regrets.
That's wicked. And that's what you want, right? You just want to get through it all having no regrets for what you've done, and just found the thing that you're passionate about. I find it mad though that you were never really into leather jackets. I was expecting to come here and be like 5 years old, someone got me a wee mock leather jacket, and I'm here for it.
No, I was never interested. Now that I've got my own styles and my own cutty pattern that I like the fit of, I now wear a leather jacket. But even when I worked for the old company, never once had I bought a couple and I wore them for a few months and then swapped them or changed them or sold them. But it's only now that we have got the fit that I love.
Comfortable, yeah.
I now wear a leather jacket. And it's even saying that, it's bizarre. Like, you make leather jackets, you've been making leather jackets for 13 years, and you have now only been wearing them for the past year or two. It's crazy. But it's the making, it's seeing that final product come out exactly how you want it to come out. The stitch detail is so important to me. That's what gives me the excitement. That's what keeps me going on to be like, I need to be better. It's the making of the product. That's what excites me. And then, don't get me wrong, seeing my jackets on guys looking cool as fuck, that gives me a proper buzz.
Yeah,
it does.
Absolutely.
And catching me in the mirror with one of my jackets thinking, oh, good fin jacket, Greg.
You must get some good stares.
Aye, you do. And I'm constantly getting DMs saying, had so much compliments for my jackets, or randoms like, just been asked where I got my jacket, guy loves it. Like, it's always happening, and that makes me feel really good. Had one yesterday, guy DM'd me, had my jacket on the other day, got a compliment. Like, it's just,
And you sell them all over the world, right?
I do, mostly Americans.
Yeah.
Mostly Americans. Europe, drips and drabs, but mostly Americans.
Yeah.
Can't imagine there's much in Scotland.
There's no, we've maybe had 5 or 6. That's, to be honest with you, that's 5 or 6 in Britain. 5 or 6 customers, maybe they're repeat customers.
Yeah.
So maybe 15 altogether. But it's all Americans. Americans are massive when they're leather jackets. Fucking huge.
I think there's the whole consumerist culture, everyone talking about fast fashion and fast fashion being so negatively portrayed, because it's obviously a terrible thing, but let's not take away from that. But there seems to be a real good shift towards like buy once, buy well. Like, boots was the first one, denim followed. Is leather jackets the one now?
I think so, I mean, it's certainly getting that way. I wouldn't say it's massive, but it's slowly getting that way. And don't get me wrong, a lot of our customers, they've got 30, 40 leather jackets.
Wow, really?
I mean, like, one of our repeat customers, I don't even know, he's I think 40 odd jackets. And I mean, like, these are from all the makers, but there must be over 100 grand worth of jackets on his rack.
Unbelievable.
It's fucking crazy.
But like where you got your kilt in Edinburgh, there was a guy who had like
21st century kilts.
he had like 20 black kilts.
All black kilts.
Why would you want 20?
Wild, eh? All for the same maker.
Yeah.
Wild.
Mad.
Just loved them. Just absolutely loved them. He was a Swedish, I might be over romanticising this, I think he was a neurosurgeon or something. He was definitely in medical. I just pictured this like very slick Swedish glass cabin neurosurgeon, hundreds of money, cutting about in a black kilt, black Audi out the back. That kind of person, you know. But like when folk are into something like that, they're into it.
If you can financially like afford that, then why not? You know?
Absolutely.
Why not? I mean, if I had more money, I'd be buying beautiful things in. Repeat those things.
Find your thing and stick to it, right? I was going to. My whole point in the fast fashion thing was it seems people are buying less but buying very well. And you just blown that out of the water. Like, he buys 40. I'm like, shit,
As soon as that left my mouth, I thought, this is not the answer he wanted.
No, I don't ever want an answer, but no, you're right. But in general, people do seem to be buying better, which I think is a really good thing for makers in general.
And these guys who have got 30, 40, 50 jackets, they are all about buying better.
Aye.
I've never ever seen them in any cheap shit fast fashion. Like never. Never.
Yeah, they've got 30 or 40 range rather than 500 off-brand jackets, which is pretty cool.
And no, carry on.
No, please.
No, I was going to go on a different topic, but carry on.
The leather world in general, though, the leather and denim world, and that whole like cafe racer, old truck scene, that's the sort of on-brand cool thing. It's certain. I was going to say right now, but it has always been for a long time.
Always that.
It just seems to be breaking into the mainstream a little bit. Like it's always been there. I've always been into old motorbikes, old trucks. I've had multiple old trucks, etc. But it's coming into like mainstream marketing now. You see, like there was a sunglasses advert that popped up on mine, and I rarely ever wear sunglasses. I don't know how it ended up on mine, but It was cool. It was all about like old truck, tattered denim jacket. Like I was like, I could wear sunglasses. I'd look as cool as that one day. Yeah. Old's like 50, weathered and looks wicked, and I'm like, I'd look as cool as him. You know what I mean? It's coming there though. It's the mainstream marketing angle for men's clothing at the minute.
I think it seems to come and go.
Right.
And with our market, that's what's great about the market I'm in. It's timeless.
Yeah.
These styles have been for the 20s, 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
And even though it's a very niche market, it never goes out of style. Even though you ask the average person about, leather jackets, they're not in style. But in our niche market, they're never been out of style.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps a bit of security too. I mean, there's companies been doing this for 30, 40 years. Same styles for 30, 40 years. It's just getting your name out there, making sure your patterns are as best as they can be, your stitch work as best as you can be. And I didn't think you can lose, Even though it's going to be hard, and it is hard, I didn't think, as long as I keep at it, I didn't think I'm going to lose.
This is my mindset for anything we've ever done in business, certainly We Are Makers, is just go one more day. Just go one more day. Keep going one more day. Because the big brands that are out there that are doing well have been there forever.
Aye.
And that's why everyone knows them. Because they've been there forever.
Yep.
You can't lose if you didn't quit. That's my
statement of the day.
Aye, that's my biggest takeaway for any maker listening to. Now, everyone needs to make their own decision because everyone has different people, dependents, things to look after. I get that, and I would never question anyone's decision to quit. But what I would say is if you didn't quit, you can't lose. As long as the graph's trending up,
you
can't lose.
Obviously, I've always said, there's not a morning I'll wake up and I'm no happy to be where I am.
Yeah.
If the time ever comes that I'm waking up and I'm miserable repeatedly, I'll shut the door.
Aye.
I'll shut the door.
Aye.
100%.
Yep.
But I've been doing this for 13 years and I've loved every minute of it.
That's wicked.
And I can't see me. I mean, this is my calling.
This
is for me. That's for me, and it's going to work.
You're obviously very comfortable where you are.
Yeah.
Like, personally, happy-wise, you're very, this is where I want to be.
100%.
Aye.
Do I want to progress in the business a bit quicker? Aye.
Aye, sorry, I mean comfortable as in like,
I've never been
what
happy in my
your
life.
want is here.
Never been happy in my life.
That's awesome.
I said the last company I worked for, I was miserable as sin. It was a poisonous environment, and that's what made me want my own business today. Is I create the environment, and obviously Sam's been my best mate for 14, 16 years, and we've got the same mindset. It's positivity. It's no cancerous. Tony's the same. She experienced the poisonous environment, and she's a positive person. In here, that's what the first thing she says. She loves the environment that she's in. We get to create the environment. Aye. And if we hire somebody that is poison, they'll be straight out the fucking door. There'll be
Company policy.
That's one of the best things is I create my own environment.
Yeah.
Nobody tells me what to do. I'm not asking, can I go on holiday? I'm not asking, can I go for a piss? Even though you're needing this right in 10 minutes. It's just, I'm not going back to that. And
that's the real gold in being a maker and working for yourself. Like, all the other things are hard. They're going to be hard regardless. The real goal is you get to do what you want and build what you want.
Exactly.
That's the gold in it all. That's so good.
I love it.
You were going to ask something a minute
No,
ago?
because for anyone listening, your story is going to be in edition 11 of our print magazine. And you mentioned in there that, you know, your customer, you go to see your customers, right? Like, whoever buys your jacket, sometimes you go and meet them. Is
sometimes
that right?
we do have the opportunity.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes,
when it does, not many people get to do that.
No, obviously I went down to Manchester, where I actually seen your magazine in a magazine shop.
Oh, nice.
And it just stood out to me.
Nice.
I was like, Martin, we're makers. So yeah, obviously got to go down and obviously meet Martin, and I'm going to San Francisco at the end of the week, and I've actually got a cotton mock-up to take to a customer.
All right.
So I'll get to see it on him, and we'll be able to figure out final sizing. So it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's great. I really enjoy meeting customers. And we've had actually a few customers come over here, spend a few hours at the shop.
That's cool.
And it's bloody good, eh? I was annoying, before I started the business, I had a very small group of friends.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't speak to anybody outside my group. And then all of a sudden, I'm speaking to hundreds of people all around the world, which a lot of them I would consider friends, eh? Because we've back and forward DMs for 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
Which I never ever thought. And not even that opens up opportunities.
You don't know who they know. You know.
I didn't realise how much opportunities was going to be brought just from meeting people from around the world.
Right.
I'm getting asked all the time, if you're here, let me in, stay with me. We'll go here, we'll do this. And I never ever thought I would experience that.
It's someone asked us a while back, recently-ish, are we trying to build a business to make money or to build a lifestyle? I was like, we're trying to build a lifestyle. Like when we've done that 6 weeks in the States, I think we paid for 3 nights accommodation.
Right, okay.
And maybe 10 meals. We're there for 35 days.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And I'm like you, I've got a very, very small group of friends, but a lot of the customers, certainly the makers we represent, they are our pals. They are our people, because you've found your people. And what better way to find your people than find the thing you love to do, and then find people that also love that. It's so good. There's a lot to be said for just that part of being a maker or running your own creative business. There's a lot to be said for it. I absolutely love it. Would not doing the custom stuff take away from that though? Because you're not having as many interactions and you're not going to see the guys in San Francisco and... Well,
even with made to measure, Sam could go back and forward 100 emails.
Okay.
Because we need their body measurements. Half these guys didn't know how to measure themselves.
Yeah, that's a skill in itself, right?
We also asked for measurements of their favourite fitting jacket.
Okay.
Or 2 of their favourite fitting jackets. Photos of them in that favourite fitting jacket so that we can see how it sits on them, make sure the seams are sitting where they should be. And with that, there's back and forward, back and forward. Half of them didn't know what leather they want, they didn't know what lining they want, they didn't know what zippers they want. So it's constantly sending them photos, speaking to them. It's still a hefty amount of work just for the made to measure.
Right.
Times that by 10 for the full custom.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Is there a world though where you do the full custom and just drive the price right up?
See, my mate says that, like, offer it, but make it a crazy price.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to pay it, they'll pay
I
it.
would. Because you're doing the product, you clearly have the quality, but it's costing you so much to offer that quality. So why not offer that quality? And those that can't afford it will still want it. But you've got this amazing off-the-shelf range that those that can't afford that, not everyone will be able to afford that, but they can still have a piece of field leather.
You know, you're right. And I mean, like, our price point right now is still £1,000 cheaper for the next guy who's offering the same made to measure for us.
Really?
So if we were to go bespoke, like full custom, but then add another £500 on top of our competitor's price, because I mean, our top competitors are £2,000 to £2,500. You know, we're 1,300, and that's made to measure on the same. Well, that's not even that. The freewheelers, they're off the rack at over £2,000.
Really?
No made to measure. I think if they know you and they want to, but it doesn't happen very often, if you want a sleeve lengthen or shorten, they'll do it. But it's like £200-300. Wow. It's ridiculous. But freewheelers is considered the best in the world.
Yeah. They can charge that, right? Because they're the go-to guys.
Yep. Crazy money in this.
Yeah. But people obviously, people understand why there is. There's a lot of crafts and making that take a load of time, and it's really hard to communicate that takes time. There's one of the biggest sins in the sort of sphere that we work in, call it the creative sphere for conversation's sake, is so many people being undervalued. And this is really where it's Kate and I's job. So many people being undervalued because the general population don't understand what goes into it. As a jacket, you cannot argue what goes into that. Like, whether you know what goes into it or not, I don't know what goes into it, and I'm around a lot of leather products and a lot of making for my everyday job. I can tell you there's a lot that goes into that. It's a really nice product to be able to communicate that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can deny how much goes into that.
No. I mean, like, obviously because I've done it for so long, at Disney, even though it takes me a full day to make one, at Disney feel like a lot, but it's only because I've been doing it for 13 years.
Yeah.
And when I was first starting out, even though I took to it quite easily, it was taking me 3 days to make a jacket.
Really?
You know, yeah.
Just because you can do it faster doesn't mean it's any cheaper.
No, you're right. I think it's, again, because it's the only thing I've walked into and found, I've picked it up. So to me, it's always been sort of easy. But like you say, it doesn't take away the fact that there's a huge amount of work goes involved, and 13 years worth of making them to get it to this stage. And that's another thing I forget too, that, okay, well, I've been doing this for 13 years. I should be paid for my time.
Yeah.
And
Damn right.
That's not something that I ever really thought about. Yeah.
But you should not only be paying yourself for your time at the machine, you should be paying yourself for the 13 years of experience.
The experience, aye.
Which is hard to do for any maker, I think. And it should be the easiest thing to do.
There's a lot of makers out there that I don't even want to think about how much time that's taking me. I just want to charge this price because I think that's what I'm going to get for it. Or that's how much I think people will pay for it. But actually, you know, there's lots of time you need to include in there. But it is hard. It is hard, you know. I know it is.
Yeah, been there.
yeah. Get the same feelings.
How do you think you get over that as a maker? How do you think you... So you're clearly at this point right now, so it's fresh, it's raw. How do you think you get over that point of, I need to start paying myself what I'm worth?
I keep telling myself that once we get rid of these full custom designs and things are moving smoother, we'll be more consistency, so we'll be getting more jackets out on a weekly basis. And I feel like that's when I'll start...
Chase the efficiency.
Aye. Another 10, 12 months. And that's how it's been the past 2 years. When I get to this stage, we'll be in a better position. Then I'll be able to pay myself more. But then that kind of creeps back and creeps back.
Aye.
But like I say, we have stopped full custom designs. So now we will reach that mark. And whether it works out how I hope, that we are consistently getting more jackets out and I can pay myself more, hopefully that happens, fingers crossed. But if it doesn't, then I'll wait until the next barrier. Like, I'll wait until that point. Don't get me wrong, I do want to be doing it year and year and year. But again, I've always been confident with my gut feeling. My gut's always been right. And my gut tells me 10, 12 months, all these full custom designs are done. We've got our new styles out. We'll be in a much better position, and I will be starting paying myself a decent salary.
That's good. Because you need to be able to do it to keep all this happening.
Yep. Don't get me wrong, as I say, financially, I've not been paying when we went through that bad period, I didn't pay myself a bean. I paid the bills, I paid the overheads, but I didn't pay myself jack shit.
Yeah.
But I was still happy to come in here in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's something really nice about that, isn't there?
Because you know it'll come, you just
I do. My gut tells me it's going to come. Just keep your head down, Greg, and it'll happen. I've always had that feeling. Don't get me wrong, there's times my confidence goes completely down. It's like the business up and down, my confidence is up and down, but deep down I know it's going to come, it's going to work out.
And that fills you with a lot of
100%.
confidence.
There's times where I'm machining or just thinking in my head and I think to myself, I'm paying myself jack shit and I'm happy. And then I think to myself, just wait until you're paying yourself a salary. How fucking happy are you going to be? And I get butterflies when I think of that, And I get all giddy. And it's going to happen. It is. If I could be this happy when things are so stressful and there's not much money in the pot, how happy could I be in 18, 24 months when there is money in the pot and I am paying myself?
So to speak exactly to that, to further your point and to... When I left film, our earnings went down by... We probably make about an eighth of what we made in film, an eighth to a ninth. I have never been happier. I can confidently say I have never been happier. Right. It is amazing. And if we can just keep building this to a point where we make a half, a quarter of what we were making in film, Like our mortgage still gets paid every month. I've never been happier.
Right.
We're not putting money in savings. We're not at that point yet. That'll be the next point. Like we've got various financial like targets.
Yep.
It's a good way to make a living. It is a good way to make a living.
Purpose. You've got purpose, don't you?
Aye. I think that's it. Purpose. Aye.
Before you were working for somebody else and thought, well,
and I was doing cool stuff, and whenever I told people what I was doing, they're like, "Oh, that's really cool," and it is really cool. It absolutely is, but it wasn't what I want. It is what I wanted to be doing at the time. It's not what I needed to be doing. Maybe it's not what I should have been doing. Like watching Kate build this was wicked, and then being able to jump onto this full time was the business. Like it was really cool. So we've talked loads about all the actual business side of it. But so you make leather jackets, solely leather jackets. What does it look like to even start this? You obviously came from somewhere where you learned to do leather jackets, but when you're like introducing a new style, or we'll not talk so much about the custom because I know you want to kind of rid that, which I still think you should do, but just ramp the prices up. But what does it look like if someone's coming to you for a leather jacket, and why do they come to you rather than Freewheel or rather than someone else?
Well, since you mentioned Freewheelers, price point.
Right.
Well over £1,000 cheaper. Why they come to me over other companies is I very quickly gained a respect for really neat stitching.
Right.
Luckily, there's online forums. Even though they're a pain in the arse, it does get your products out there. Yeah. And it does let a community show exactly why this person's good or bad. Right. And I was lucky enough to, my first few jackets, get on the Fedora Lounge, and they were all hyping my stitch work over companies that are £1,000, £1,500 more than mine. So that's definitely one of the reasons why people come to me. Other reason, we were doing cotton mock-ups. So at first we'll take all your measurements, then make a cotton sample jacket and send it out to you. But we've stopped that because we lose money on every single one. Right. And time, like it just...
And you were obviously only doing that for your made to measure stuff, right?
But I mean, like, I could probably say there's 5, 6, 7 customers who haven't went made to measure.
Really?
Everybody goes made to measure.
Really?
Yep. And even though it's a risk for the customer, if the process is done right, the measurements are done right, we'll get it. Yeah. But that being said, these jackets are a lot of money. And I can understand why the customer is nervous. So that's why we done the cotton mock-up for the first few years. It was
puts your mind at ease, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But now that my confidence is there, we thought we need, it's efficiency we're working towards, so we're done with that. So I guess...
It's a little comfort blanket taken away almost, really. So it's quite a... For me, that would be...
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why other people were coming to us. But with the feedback and with everyone buying jackets, we've made a name for ourselves that you get a bloody good quality jacket for field leathers. So I guess, it's a good thing. Our price point, even though we're £1,300, we are still at a very reasonable price point compared to other makers. I mean, like, I mean, like, it's a hard one to say, but yeah, they're getting a good product for a reasonable price. It's still a lot of money, but it's still compared to what's out there. We're using the best leathers, Shinky horsehide, which everybody raves about. We're using Italian Badalassi. Again, it's a top tier hide. Our zippers are made to order in Japan, replicas of the 1940s.
Oh, okay.
Our linings are always 100% cotton or wool. There's no shite used, and there's every material we use is a top tier, most expensive, best material you can use.
Why is it important to you to use only the best of the best? Because you'd be forgiven to try and get a bit more profit out of it to pay yourself by dropping something.
You're right. But if I want to be compared to the best in the world, I need to be using these materials. And that's always been the goal. I didn't start this business to be tinkering in the middle.
Right.
It was, don't get me wrong, at first, when I first started thinking, it was a confidence thing. Should I try and compete with these big boys? And I was thinking about using cheaper leathers and cheaper zippers and cheaper linings. And I thought, that's not where I want to be. It's not me. And I thought, I'm just going to go for it and try and compete with the big boys. And like I say, early on, I feel like their quality was there. I just need to get myself out there and slowly work my way up. And I will eventually be compared to the best in the world. I believe so, I do. It's going to take another 4, 5, 6 years, I don't know, but we will be compared to the best in the world. I do believe that.
Sounds like you're quite ready for that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever years it is. Sounds like you're like, this is our path, this is what we're doing.
100%.
Does that fill you with more confidence month on month, knowing that you're committed to that plan?
I guess it does give me a little bit of confidence. But I didn't think too much. It's only when we're speaking discussion and I'm getting asked these questions that I'm saying it a little bit. 9 times out of 10, I'm just in my head, make the best jackets, keep going, we'll slowly get there. I say confidence is up and down. But overall, I believe in myself and I believe we'll get there.
That's the best bit. It's just to believe in
It's not going to be easy. It isn't going to be easy. And it's not been easy. But if they can do it, I could do it. For what I've proven so far, and the hours that I'm working, and the peanuts I'm paying myself, I could only get better.
Well, that's what we say. We're like, you work hard, something's going to come from it. You can't work this hard to not get anything out of it. It's just, it's impossible.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
I think if you can genuinely ask yourself, am I working as hard as and be very, very, you have to be able to be very, very, very frank with yourself and genuinely ask yourself, am I doing the absolute most I can? And if you can honestly answer to yourself, nobody else can call you out, just honestly answer to yourself, yes, I didn't see how it can fail. I genuinely didn't see how it can fail.
I'll be completely honest, I reckon the first 2 years I was working harder, but that was because at the beginning I was dealing with customers' emails, so I was working full days, and then because the Americans are all behind us, hour-wise, I was sitting in my bed, emailing, waking up through the night, as soon as I seen an email, emailing back, and I would wake up every half hour, 40 minutes, and I was doing that. And if I was carrying on doing that, I'd be absolutely destroyed.
Yes.
Aye, so you're working more, not necessarily harder, yes, more, but there's an amount of that if you'd kept doing that, field leathers wouldn't be here. You'd have been sick of it.
100%.
Absolute sick of it.
But I mean, I'm still working anywhere from 45 to 60 hours a week.
Why?
And I've started, like I say at the beginning, I've started what's best for me and the business. But if I'm done, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm not pushing through that, where other makers would.
Kate's good for that. You're good for recognising when you're done and when you're starting to make mistakes. I make more of a mess when I carry on. I just keep making a mess and then I've got more work to do the next day to fix it.
And if I've got a front panel, there's 50 quid worth of materials. I can't afford that.
No.
So it's listening to myself. But from a day to day, I'm happy with the amount of work I'm doing at this point. Will I step up and like a wee bit more down the line, or will I take a back seat when Tony's properly getting into the gist of it and she's making a lot more jackets? I might take a slight wee step back. I don't know. I will evaluate at each point. But let's say I reckon 40 to 45, 60 hours a week is enough for us to slowly keep progressing and for me to stay sane.
Yeah, you could progress. Yes, you're absolutely right. Could you do 80 hours a week and progress more aggressively? Arguably, yes. In 2 years, would you be burnt out and want to close the doors? Also, arguably, yes. Yeah.
How do you find social media to help your business?
We do, the only marketing we do is Instagram. I went a full year without even posting.
Yeah.
Way back. I've never been one for sharing my life on social media. The only reason I'm on social media is for the business and to show that what we're doing. And people seem to love it, especially when I do step-by-step pictures of the full progress. I get DMs all the time. I love it. It's like so good to see the
I was scrolling down here to see, where's his face on here? I was like trying to find one for a reel, because it's fun. It's good to see in your shop and seeing what's going on.
But for day one, I've known I should be doing video content. The makers who are showing process of their like video form in making, they're on 100k followers, 200k followers, and I've known for day one we should be doing that, and I've known for day one we should be on TikTok. But it's just one of the things that I've got another 101 hanks today. I don't want to be setting up the camera here, sewing a sleeve up, and then changing it, and until, again, this is probably just me, but I keep saying once we get through these full custom designs, that's when I'll do it.
Aye.
Whether I do or no, I'm not confident that I will. I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know.
I think, so two things there. First off, the TikTok. Yes, TikTok seems to drive massive audiences, but having spoke to even people like Florian Gadsby at a couple of million on TikTok, he's convinced he's never had an order through it.
Right, okay.
So I think there's a bit of a fallacy with the TikTok side of things. I don't know personally, because we don't spend a lot. We've just kind of got a placeholder that cross posts on TikTok. But he's obviously a very, very big account in the millions, and he's convinced he's never had an order through it. But back to the content thing, I really think one of the best ways both to get makers out there and for making businesses to grow is hire a content guy.
Well, I've got a guy who's just getting into it. Well, he's been doing it for a few years, but he still works. And he's like, Greg, I'll come in, I'll do this. It's like, I'm not wanting to call. If you've got about 50 quid here, give me it. If you've got about 50. And I feel like I shoot a lot of things down before I get a try. And I do need to just get them in and say, look, let's see what...
Absolutely. I think what you're doing here, you should be showing off a lot more.
100%.
Because people want to see it.
Yeah.
And, might help grow, you never know.
Yeah.
But
You shouldn't shoot it down until you've tried it for at least do some... Broken record. Do something 100 times before you shoot it down.
Right, okay.
Like just post daily for 100 times. Get your guy in, maybe he comes in for like a day a week and he films 7 reels, so you've got a reel for every day.
once a month maybe to start with. So you've always got some.
Aye, get him in for once a month, so and he can chop stuff out. The other thing is, and it feels a bit dirty the first time you do it actually, like reposting content.
Right, okay.
Like reposting old content, and because you're like, oh, Facebook and Instagram, like we should all be posting fresh stuff. But I came up with this the other day. I was like, how many times have you seen the same car advert, or the same, HelloFresh advert, or whatever advert? Like, you didn't put all this effort into content to post it once.
No, you're right, and it was weird because I was actually thinking this last week. Like, why am I not scrolling down to the bottom of my Instagram and seeing what was decent and just repost it?
Aye.
Just read it.
Because the folk that haven't seen it, most people that when you've posted that will never have seen it, because you'll have loads of new people on your account.
And you can't remember half of it.
Aye, and the people that do remember it will remember it because they were absolutely jazzed to see it the first time. So they're like, yes, seen this again.
Yeah.
I think reposting, because you're right, content is just a massive thing. It's so hard to get enough of it to just feed that beast, and it is a massive beast. I can't believe you're not doing more content out here.
I know.
Because it's minted. Like, it is really cool. Anyone that's just listening, go over to YouTube and watch this one, because as a space, it's very cool. You got a lot going on. And with everyone, it's also really satisfying, right? Like, watching people stitch leather and work with leather is satisfying content. It'd be good content.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know you're right. It's just, I need a kick up the arse to get it going, Aye.
I'll be texting you in 2 weeks' time. Where is it?
Any content?
I think one of the best things, other than content guys, like getting somebody that'll hold you accountable. Me and one of my pals for school, very different industries. We kind of phone usually every Saturday or every Sunday. I'm just like, did you do that thing you said you were going to do last week? And it holds you accountable. It does hold you accountable.
Helps just that a little bit.
The thing is, Sam holds me accountable,
That's good.
And as soon as she drops me a message, if she's not in, like, because obviously she's still doing emails throughout the week, and I'm getting messages every other day. And as soon as she messages me, I do it for her. Like, it's done. Once in a blue moon, I'm so busy, I'll forget about it. But as soon as she messaged me yesterday, it's like, right, okay, I'll fucking update it.
Better do that.
Before you get to tell her. So going back to the actual jackets and what you do, why do you think leather jackets have stood the test of time?
Because they can physically hold the test of time. I mean, those jackets will last 100 years. No doubt, absolutely no doubt about it. You're still getting the originals for the 20s, 30s. They get on, they're tattered and they used 100% cotton thread at that point, so they might be fraying, where we use a polycotton, so the core isn't going to fray.
Right, okay.
But our jackets will outlast the owner's son, the will.
That must be cool to put something out into the world that you know will outlast.
100%, and that's, again, I've thought about this many times. I can't wait for 20 year time and I come across an old, like one of my first ones when I was doing the unit.
Yeah.
I like, that would just be absolutely buzzing. And
do you think you'll remember it if you see one for the unit? Do you?
Aye.
That's cool.
Aye.
That's really cool.
I reckon we only made about 50 jackets in the unit.
Still a lot.
Still a lot.
It is, but I'll remember because they were the first pattern blocks, and I know that pattern, I know that shape. I can tell by just looking at it. Yeah.
Got the eye.
So what about all these pleathers and vegan leathers and stuff that are coming out now?
They're all shite. They're all just, they're pish.
Aye.
I've personally I've only held a few, and they're just shit. Whether they'll take off or not, I can't see it, but they might, you know. I'm not too sure about the market just now. It's not something I read up on, it's not something I keep up on because I have zero interest in it.
Yeah.
And for what I'm hearing about people who are buying, well, I say people, two people, they're not that keen on it. It didn't last long.
Really? You're actually hearing feedback to say that these vegan and plastic leathers are not lasting long. And what, are they then reverting back to?
You know, I don't know about that one. I never asked, but for what I heard, they weren't happy with it. Right. So I can't see it coming to much. There is going to be people out there who, because obviously they're vegan, love it, and it's the only thing they're going to buy. Fair play, on you go, each to their own. But it's not for me. I never will. I've been asked a couple of times, would you ever go? Nah, completely just shut it down. No chance. No chance.
Yeah.
Because you're interested in making jackets that'll outlast your son.
Aye. Yep.
Aye. That seems really important, especially at that price point as well. You can sell that price point when you're talking about a 100-year jacket. You can't when you're talking about a 12-month, 24-month jacket.
No.
It's not sustainable, I don't think.
No. And that's the other thing, isn't it? Like, anyone that's into leather will know, like, leather is a byproduct anyway.
100%, and that's what a lot of people didn't understand. And I get grief all the time. I'm at parties and this young girl would come to me and like, you're killing horses and you're this and you're that. And it's a byproduct, you know, it's for the meat industry. Every part of the horse on the cow is used. It's frustrating at times, but people didn't realise that the animal's killed for the meat industry, and instead of throwing half the animal away, let's use every single part of it, like every single part. And luckily we have the skins. We can buy the skins and make beautiful garments from this animal that was going to die anyway. And a lot of people still, it doesn't matter what, it's just they didn't like the fact that animals are dying, but that's just a part of life.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a part of life for at least until we're dead. Probably for the last, it is what it is.
It's been around forever, it will be around forever. Yeah. It's quite interesting because you think about it, like that's like horse skin, the horse, I don't know what the lifespan of a horse is, some horsey person can tell me, I'm going to guess 15 to 18 years, let's say. Your jacket's going to last another 100 years. Like it's 5-6x the length of that horse's lifespan in a jacket. As a material, it's fucking brilliant. It's fascinating material and for what it can do. And you've got a pliable thing that you can wear. every day
Yep.
out of something that is waste material.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable. Like, I quite fancy a leather jacket now. So what's next? We're going to cut out the custom, or you're going to rethink that and drive the prices right up and keep doing it?
Again, because you've brought up, and my mate brought up, and somebody else brought up, and I mean, it could be doing the line, but right now the plan is to completely scrap it, work on a new styles, because I am ecstatic with the new fit of our pattern. Like, I've finally gotten the pattern that I love, the fit.
Did you just know that straight away? Were you like, this is the one I've been chasing?
Yeah. I would dig it, Mum. We've been working towards it.
Yeah. You've been chasing
but
it,
as soon as we've done the first one, I was like, a wee tweak here at the back volume, wee tweak, and that's it. And we've done the tweaks, made it in a leather jacket, and I knew straight away, boom,
really?
we'll fuck with it. And I was in the mirror and I was trying it on, as like, so obviously speaking to Sam while she was here at the computer, and I was like, well, Finn, we've got it, this is it.
Nice.
Do you think that's going to be your game change? That's going to be the jacket that your company's pinned on in future years?
I don't know, but I think we will be, once we start getting these newer patterns out, I think there will be talk, because the first set of patterns, they were all right, but there was issues.
Right.
And we've had, on the line forums, we've had people speak up. One of the main issues was the front girth. There wasn't enough. Right. But with these patterns, I think once we start getting them out and start getting them on the online forums, people are going to say, actually, they've stepped up on their pattern work.
That's cool.
They've listened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's quite an important point as well, isn't it? Because everything is so transparent and so circular now. You going out and then other people that maybe did bash before, or not bash, but maybe spoke slightly negatively of it, being able to say like, oh no, these guys have, like, that's cool. Because massive companies, I think, could get stuck in their ways and not do that bit. But for people to see that directly, like, you're making the tweaks, that's what's really nice about being a smaller maker, agile in what you're doing.
There was no hidden fact that I knew we had to improve. There's always room for improvement. It was always the plan to work on patterns until I'm extremely happy with what we've got. I mean, I could have sat for another year before we launched the business and changed the pattern and changed it again. But then, back then it was, we've got the patterns, let's launch. And then we'll progress, we'll develop and progress as we go. And I have listened to people online and feedback for customers. And I was asked in the last podcast I done, like, after this, do you think there'll be changes again? And I can't remember exactly what I says. I says I will wait for feedback, but there'll not be any changes. I'm happy with these, and we're sticking with these. And if our patterns don't fit certain customers, then our patterns aren't compatible with your body type.
Right.
That's how it's going to be.
Right.
I mean, because the big boys out there, they've had the same patterns for donkeys.
Yeah. They've done what you done early on, found their pattern and stuff. Because there must be certain brands will be better for certain body types.
100%.
Just as it is.
100%. And that's what a lot of these guys didn't realise, especially the guys who are new to the leather jacket business. Maybe my pattern style isn't for you.
Yeah.
We've went for a relatively slim fitting pattern. So big, massive guys, maybe they're not going to be that comfortable in you, maybe you should go to X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
You can't cater for everybody.
X, Y, and Z are they're a lot more volume in the sleeve. So a wee skinny guy, maybe it isn't what I go to them, they'll come to me. It's just one of the things that we can't continuously keep changing our patterns because 10 guys say, I don't really like the way the shoulders are on me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I used to have
we'll just be chasing our tail.
Yeah, you will, and you'll never get really good at one thing. I used to have a Filson tin cloth cruiser, and I wore it to death for maybe 18 months, and it never quite fit right. And I finally just got over myself and been like, this isn't the jacket for me. I wanted it for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but just
it still doesn't fit right. Like, over that time, I'd gained weight, I'd lost loads of weight, and it just, regardless of what my weight done, it never quite fit right. It didn't have the space in the sleeves, it didn't have the space around the shoulders for me.
Yep.
I've never wanted one again.
Right.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. I've always wanted one again, but again, I'm not going to buy one because it's no the right jacket for me.
And that's the way it is with each maker. Luckily, a lot of your customers are on jacket 10, 11, 12 for X, Y, and Z, and they ken exactly what they're looking for. But for the new guys, it could be daunting, and they could make mistakes coming to us or going to somewhere else and realising this isn't the jacket for me. I mean, like, it's just one of the things. And then people could look at that and be like, oh, well, you're obviously doing something wrong. It's just the way it is. You can go into any high street shop and try on 10 jackets, and 8 of them shit, like you don't like the fit, or 8 of them you love. It's just one of the things, eh?
But by not trying to do all of the sizes, you can continue to be here, improve, and just that. So we're going to cut out we're talking about what's next, we're going to cut out the custom work for now, and then it's coming back later at a higher price point. And then we're going to really concentrate on those patterns. Is that the big... So those same patterns, is that then... Can you transfer those measurements into all your styles as well?
We can, but depending on the style, we might tweak it slightly.
Right.
If we want a car coat, so it's a button front.
Right.
Preferably you want a layer under that, like a nice thick jumper or something. So we will need a wee bit more volume in maybe the armhole. Shoulder slightly bigger, pit to pit slightly bigger. But because we have found the fit that I like, we just adapt slightly depending on the style.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What else? What else is next for the future?
New styles. Again, we've only got like 4 on the website, but we've got like another 7. We've taken the photos, just never got around to put them on the website. And we've had these photos for 3 months.
Yeah.
Really?
That's just the way things have been for day one. That's something else I need to improve on. But after that, it's just getting. I've got all the styles in my head that we're going to do.
Right.
Just trying to get these out by the end of the year. Couple ladies' styles too.
Nice.
Cool.
More sheepskin.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. The ladies' I
hate it.
We talk about this quite often. I really think guys' fashion is way ahead of women's fashion at the minute. Yeah. Like, we have a lot of good quality options. Women have thousands of options,
but none of them are good.
Almost none of them are good.
Aye.
I struggle
At
every
least
time.
from what I see, and you notice it as
shops.
well.
Hate the shops.
I didn't really see anybody doing beautiful pieces for women.
Yeah.
A couple of my competitors are doing 1 or 2 styles, but nothing great. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Bit of a lull there, but...
What about trying to sell jackets online? Is there a world where you look for retail space, somewhere where people can try it on? Like, you're trying to sell a high ticket fitted thing online.
You're right. Most of our market supply to stores around the world, and that would be, that's down the line. I would love to be in a couple stores. With Tony now here, we could probably afford to supply to 1 store, maybe 8 jackets a month.
You're just talking volume-wise when you say afford, like that's just the amount of volume you could dictate to it,
between the 2 of us. With me doing mail orders, and if we took on 1 store, Tony's only part-time, so we'd maybe be able to do 8 to 10 jackets a month, which isn't a huge lot.
No.
But it gets us in the door in 1 store. And I mean, like, there's a company, Standard & Strange, in New York. I've always wanted my jackets in New York, like, that'd just be fucking unreal.
Yeah.
That's the dream, to get in Standard & Strange. But there's 2 or 3 other stores that I would really like to get into. Don't get me wrong, stores are 2.5% markup. And right now, at the price point, we couldn't do that.
No.
Stores are 2.5x for jackets.
Markup, aye.
That's
Wow, that's a lot. We're 60-40 on print, so we are 2.5x. Aye, you're right, it is. It just seems like it's a lot because of the nature of your price point.
And I mean, obviously, so that would be material cost. The price that it works at right now, I'd be making the jackets for free at the price point I'm at. I'm going to have to be at least £1,500.
Yeah.
Another £200 on what we're at now.
Yeah, that's difficult, isn't it?
It's hard shopping retail.
Short of setting up your own shop somewhere, which comes with extortionate costs as well.
Massive. Aye, that would just give me anxiety. Like,
Oh man.
You may have like a little bit here. Because that's what Odin does, isn't it? He has all his stuff in the back, getting
He's
made.
got a lovely setup.
And then he's got his store at the front.
my issue is the area I'm in. It just isn't going to happen.
Aye, his is prime
Yeah.
real estate for that kind of thing.
I would have to be in at least Edinburgh,
Yeah.
Aye.
and I mean that'd be extortionate.
Well, that's the thing. You're then fighting against other huge bills.
Do like a little pop-up shop here and there.
Well, again, I would love to be doing pop-up shops. I've been asked, that was a while ago now, but to go out to America and do a pop-up.
Oh, cool.
But for me to ship all my stuff here,
Yeah, big.
Aye.
Ibis.
Aye. We've got a really good shipping partner, Ibis. They're
I watched you guys on that.
Yeah, the
and
podcast with
I
them.
looked it up.
Yeah.
Because is it mostly art?
It's art and sculptures and anything. They
Right.
do anything. They're actually bringing a load of stuff from the US over for us as well. So they also deal with shipping like massive quantities of our magazines over to distribute. They'll deal with anything.
Right, okay.
The specific woman we were speaking to is specialised just in art. So they build custom boxes for art.
Right.
Like for you, it would be like a good wooden box, solid box. They'd put it all in. It would actually just look really good as well, like old school crate style. But the woman we were speaking to, yes, they do specifically art. So like if you've got like a glass piece, they'll suspend it in a box kind of thing. So they're the real deal, like.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Going over to do a pop-up, like how much do you send over? Have you sent enough over? Have you not sent enough over? Have you sent too much over? Because then you need to ship it back.
Aye.
It's all costs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've got more than enough on your plate right now.
Right now, aye, definitely.
There's a lot of thing though that make her saying how this ships up and over to America. How do you do it? Just normal.
We're DHL,
DHL.
and the prices are just ridiculous. We charge £90 to ship a jacket.
I'm not surprised.
DHL are
it's
just-
extortionate
aye.
even for a magazine.
I reckon we've went up £40 since I've started.
Yeah, that's quite
£40.
believable.
Easily. Easily.
And I feel like I'm brass naked to ask for 90 quid for shipping, but I'm
You
not
have to.
I'm not taking
You
the loss.
have to.
No, you have
It's
to.
not your fault that it costs that much money.
It's the same with, but they're offering free shipping. No, you're paying for it somewhere else.
Aye.
The product's just more expensive. Like, it's as simple as that. We kind of all need to either get on board and offer free shipping, or get off board and none of us offer free shipping, because that's the world we're in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same with spend 100 quid and you'll get free shipping. It doesn't work
Bullshit.
like that. Yeah, it just doesn't work like that. But I mean, we've seen it ourselves through certainly the start of this year. We were getting late last year, start of this year. We were getting an email every month for our distributor. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up.
What?
We started at £2 for a large letter. We actually changed. That was one of the main reasons we changed from biannual to quarterly. So we're not a small parcel. We're a large letter now, which brought our shipping price down massively. But then it's like started at like £2, £2.20, £2.40. It's like £4
It all
quid
just
now.
adds up.
It's mental.
So when does
It's
it
absolutely
stop?
mental. So mail order's going well just now,
Yes.
but you do have to get your pictures online. And do more.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Who are you using? Are you set up like Shopify or something?
WooCommerce.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We've heard a lot about them as well. Yeah, we just moved to Shopify, and I must say it's absolutely fantastic.
Is it?
Oh, it's brilliant, man. The
Right.
back end of it just gives us so much insights.
It's the best
Right.
move
All the
we made,
plugins, it's
for sure.
wicked.
We're
If
on
you were looking at,
Squarespace.
actually, you were saying earlier about revamping a website. If you're looking at revamping, I'd look at that.
Right,
We're,
okay.
we're by no means sponsored by them. This is not a plug. We just used them, and I was well impressed.
Right, okay.
Really, really impressed. For
And you get someone on Fiverr do it for you.
Do you use Fiverr at all?
When I first, the very beginning, before I launched, I was looking at Fiverr, and it looked like pretty damn good for cheap.
It's good.
Uh-huh.
And I tell you what, the guys, we've got a guy, Kasun, out in Sri Lanka that does a lot of our web development stuff on the, we've got the big digital blog reader website as well. He built all of that, and I actually ended up tipping him 100% on top of what he charged us to do, because he was so good,
Right, okay.
so thorough, so fast. Like, it was unbelievable. And I still think I got a wicked good deal. So I think over the whole thing, he quoted like 250, 260 quid. We gave him another 250, 260 on top of that, which is, I'm imagining, is a lot of money to him out there.
aye.
But I was just so impressed with what he'd done.
Right,
It
okay.
was so good. It was the maximum it would allow me to tip, and I thought we were getting so much for what we'd done.
Right, okay.
It was really worth it. So I'd look at that, because you've got so much on. So much on. and they're really, really, really attentive to detail.
Okay.
I think the way Fiverr's set up is really good. Like, you, as a buyer on Fiverr, you can't lose. Because if they didn't do it right, you just go to Fiverr and be like, they've not done it right.
All right, okay.
So it seems like we've never had that issue, but it seems like a really good setup platform.
Aye.
So answer me this. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
I would have... That's a good question. If I knew I couldn't fail, I would be working towards what my dreams would be, whether I've got the buzz right now to go for it. But if I knew I couldn't fail, then I'd be working towards a nice, decent sized factory with 15, 20 machinists, supplying to 50, 60, 70 different stores around the world. That would be the absolute, probably, dream. And it never used to be. It was always 4 or 5 of us in a nice wee shop. It was always really intimate, but as times went on, especially the past 6 months, it's like I've had this lift of confidence where I could have a factory, you know,
Yeah.
we shot NYC, which has been gone from, I don't even know when it first started, 1920 or something. They've got a massive factory in New York, and I feel like I could never reach that. Mm-hmm. But why could I not reach that? You know, it's one of the things, like, possibly I could, you know.
Oh yeah, you absolutely could.
And it might take 20 years, but if they've done it, why can I not?
But by the way, it took shot at least 20 years. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not going to happen overnight, and that's fine.
Aye.
That's a nice headspace to be in.
Aye.
Running your own brand and putting stuff out with your name on it. To have that headspace of...
I'll start somewhere.
Yeah, and just a point of view of you're keeping a lot of those skills alive by having a factory. Mm-hmm. Like, not everyone has the makeup that you have to start their own brand. And quite frankly, there isn't space for everybody to start a leather. I mean, there's a lot of space, of course, but for 20 machinists, they've not all got the capacity to start up. Yeah. But making leather jackets is a dying trade. Mm-hmm. Like, making good leather jackets by hand is a dying trade. Yep. Or where it's not dying, it's certainly getting outsourced or offshored.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for smaller firms making good stuff and having people behind them to do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't always have to be the one-man band.
No.
You can go.
For a long time, I thought it was going to be a one-man band. And as soon as I took Sam on, I realised...
Possibilities.
Aye. The stress it's taken away from me from having somebody else in. The speed that we can get something out. One-man band is... It's not something that I even think about now. It has to be 5+. But let's say the past 6 months, it's one factory, like supplying to numerous shops around the world. I tell you what, right now I feel like I'm in only a very small amount of people know me. I want to be known worldwide. Right. I do. Not in an arrogant way, I just want...
Hey man, you're good at what you do, you should be known for it, you should be renowned for it.
Yeah, I just want people to know, that's a Field Leathers. Like,
brand name, yeah.
That's exciting. Cool. That is cool to be like, to people to know that that's something that's come directly from your hands. Mm-hmm. Or whether in the future, whether it's your hands, but your brand. It has come from your hands at some point. Though. Yeah. Whether someone in the factory is now making it, it was still your hands that started all this. That's cool. That's really cool. The forums that you talked about a lot there, that seems like that's been quite a big driver for you guys.
Definitely.
What's that, like men's fashion forums, leather forums?
It's an online forum for leather jackets or well-made goods. And don't get me wrong, it's been a blessing, but these guys know exactly what they want. And those guys could be the most difficult customers. Yeah. They're all lovely, they just know what they want. Yeah. Which makes it difficult. Yeah.
But that difficulty could well be the reason why your stuff's so good now.
Yeah, it's got a part to it, aye. I've always been a good sewer.
Yeah.
But obviously the first jacket that went out to the Fedora Lounge, stitch work was there, and I couldn't go back. I could only style it or get better.
Yeah.
So there's always been that standard, but they now expect that standard. And it would never be to give them anything less, but I'm human. I make wiggles just as much as anybody
That's when you know
else.
it's handmade though, isn't it?
And when I do a wiggle and I'm machining, and right in my head I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, how could you be so fucking stupid? But when the jacket's all made together, that wiggles is...
It's only you that knows.
Aye.
You're so close to it.
Aye.
You're here. So close to just that one bit at that time.
Aye.
And by the way, those same little bits will be on everything.
Aye. Yep. Yeah.
Ace. Kate, do you want to wrap it up with your question?
Yeah, what advice would you give your younger self?
Be more confident, 100%. Didn't be scared to speak your mind, even though I still didn't speak my mind all the time. Yeah, do what you want, and even if you've got 10 people saying to you, it's not going to work, fucking do it. Don't listen to anybody else. Nobody else is you. Nobody else kens what's going on in there. So yeah, always be you and 100% authentic.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Authenticity is, although it's not come up much in this conversation, it's very clear that it's what you and what Field Leathers is all about.
Yeah.
Make things authentically, very well, very transparently, and just keep putting them out into the world.
100%.
Ace.
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this, mate.
Yeah,
I know
me
you were... I hope we didn't make it too difficult.
It was actually a lot easier than what I thought. The conversation just seemed to flow, and I was nervous, but now I've enjoyed it. Really
Good.
have.
I'm glad.
Good.
Yeah.